What's happening, people? Welcome back to the podcast. Before we get into today's episode, I would just like to let you know that I demand you support this podcast in some sort of way, whether that is liking on YouTube, subscribing on YouTube, because if you're watching it without being subscribed, what are you doing? Rating on Spotify and giving me a wee review on Apple if that's what you listen to it on. So yeah, I've not got a sponsor, so I just need you to support me in some kind of way. And if you don't, I'll find where you live. Enjoy the show.
Do you ever get asked if you look like anyone?
I like Ed Sheeran, Ron Weasley and all that, man.
Anyone else?
No.
I reckon I've got a niche one.
Here we go.
It actually comes from John Mckinney himself. He told me to tell you this before I left the house. Do you know who Michael Smith is?
No.
Do you know who Michael Smith is, Paul? He's the guy that does the... Have you ever seen on Sports Scene? He's a ginger guy that does the punditry.
I did guess he was a ginger guy.
Him?
I'm well better looking than him. Well better looking.
What?
than
Who
him.
would I say? I'm getting like dyslexic names, by the way. I keep doing that. Have you ever seen it where when like your dad gets older or whatever, they start like saying,
Nah, mate.
"Nah, no, when your dad's
Actually, I haven't, mate. Nah.
no
Nah.
dad's."
No
But
dad.
like I've started getting names mixed up all the time, like literally all the time. Sean, I wanted to bring you in because I've got a lot of comedy questions. Do you know? I told you I'm going to ballet, didn't I?
Aye. Like, she was amazed. I was amazed at.
You're amazed at?
Aye.
Why?
Don't know, mate. I thought you were just going to be here permanently. Not fucking off for like a couple of months.
Nah, I'm only going for like 6 weeks. You don't know.
A couple of months.
6 baby.
Basically.
But you only know me from like the last year. Like
Aye.
previous to that, I was never here.
Nah.
Well, remember when you had me on your podcast, I was like, I don't want to be here.
Aye. And you were also down in London, but I think that's why you mainly didn't want to be here.
Because I was in London.
Aye, you hated London, didn't you?
Yeah, that's what made me move. Like, I hated Glasgow so much until I moved to London. And then it made me realise I like Glasgow. And that, by the way, I went back there about 6 weeks ago and it triggers me so much. See, just going in a pub and you can hear people go like, yeah, mate, this deal. You're like,
See, when
shut
I
up.
was down at the Frog and Bucket in Manchester, so this is a pure London thing. See, when you meet a comedian then who's like a Londoner, so they like do the comedy store, not doing London, etc. They don't introduce themselves. They give you a CV. It's like, yeah, man, like when I'm doing London, I'm like MCing here and I'm doing that, and I goes, all right, mate, I'm Sean, by the way. What? Hi.
I just hate them, mate.
See, the thing is, I
They're
could have just been a crowd member. Like you didn't know if I was an act or anything, but it's straight away, mate, just like hit you with every single thing that I've ever done in case you're somebody who can progress my career.
That's what I was going to ask. Do you think that's because they're literally just like anyone they speak to, they're like, I need to see if they've got an opportunity for me?
And because especially down in London, like think about it, that's like the main place for all social media. Everybody big is from London.
Well, that's what I kind of went there for that as well, but I wouldn't have done influencery stuff. But I just thought being there would maybe got me more opportunities or something. But at the same time, I didn't think it through because online coach online doesn't matter.
So retarded, mate. You could do it anywhere, mate.
Does not matter at all. But it's because I used to do freestyle. My mate moved there and he got loads of work just from moving there. But then when I got there, the only thing that happened to me was skinny food, sent me food, and I just ate all of it. Never sat down.
Skinny.
No, I got fat. Got fat off it.
Cool.
What I was going to say is, see, because I'm going to go to Australia for a bit as well after Bali, and I've had this in my head that I might try stand up
In Australia?
just because I'm in Australia.
Do you know how difficult it is to even find a gig in Australia?
Is it?
See, unless like
That's what I was also
the
gonna
Scotty
ask you.
Fest is there. So that's obviously well past by the time you're going to go. So I know a Australian comedian who moved from Australia to here.
Australian?
I
I thought you said Australian.
Straven? A Straven comedian moved from Straven to Glasgow. No, obviously not. And he was telling me about like the scene is so tiny, and he's like,
Right.
that's how Jim Jeffries not moved to Manchester and then up here because there's more opportunity.
I wasn't hoping of moving to Australia and becoming a stand-up comic there. I was hoping of doing a set.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't even know how you get a
Then
little mic.
trying not to kill myself at how bad it goes, and then just moving back home, pretend it never happened.
Why you wanting to do it, but
I don't know. I just want to try it,
aye.
just for a buzz. Do you know what I mean? I'm not like I've got too much going on to like.
Why have you
try
get hooked, but
What?
why have you get hooked on it?
I might. I just want to try it. Do you know I watch that much comedy. I watch that much comedians. I just want to give it a go. And it's one of those. It's like a bucket list thing as well, because it's not really like I want to be a stand-up comedian. I also feel like if I done 10 10 stand-up, like, little sets,
Yeah.
I could learn a little bit about it. Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
And then...
Means you can associate with more of the comedians that come on.
Because yeah, exactly. And also, I think with this podcast, I don't want to talk to fitness people, mate. I get so bored.
I could tell, like, you maybe had done like 3 or 4, and I could see your energy levels dipping per episode.
Did you watch some of them?
I've watched every one, except I've not watched the full Sean Casey one yet.
I actually demanded he didn't talk about calories.
I remember at the start.
Sean listens to these, but the first, like, we done podcasts before, but it was when I first started, like, fitness stuff, so I was still interested in it. But I don't know, I've just, like, got one of those brains that I can't really do. Even with fitness, I now do tutorials and stuff. I don't really talk about
But you don't even
food.
like fitness industry, like, at all. Even when you came on, like, when you first came on mine, Bar's podcast, go subscribe. But you literally, like, our chat was somewhat fitness related, but then it literally just spiraled off to a million things, and then you literally just went, I fucking hate the fitness industry. And I was like, aye, I know. Everybody does, mate.
And no, but I still like helping people. So I'm
But
still...
that's different, isn't it, towards the to the fitness industry.
Well, you're thinking about influencers and people that are just whatever, like putting up pictures of themselves and stuff, whereas I'm actually coaching. So it's different to different industries, really. If you look at coaching and like people that are just like making products and stuff.
But it's too many fitness influencers who therefore coach people.
Yeah, well, they don't really actually coach. Maybe they sell like programs and stuff.
Aye.
So it does get like a bit dirty between the lines, if you know
I
what I
was
mean.
going to say, and it kind of fucks you and all, because you can literally give care within your product.
I don't think it does, because it's all that bad that like see a lot of PTs listen to this as well. I think that's like my demographic's so weird for this, by the way, because it's not the same like 40-year-old women that listen to like my fat loss advice, because they're like, oh my god, I can't believe you said that. Me and Michael were talking about coming on people's chests.
Respect, mate. I didn't watch that one when I'm going home.
It was funny. There's stuff I posted. You see the clip I posted of the guy? So there's more to that.
Right.
So this guy, just for anyone that hasn't seen the clip or listened to that podcast, the guy sent Michael a video of himself wanking after.
Sorry about that, Michael.
After Michael hadn't got back to his coaching inquiry, and he sent him a voice message and all that back, mate. Like he was kind of like having a wee bit of bam up, and I was like, mate, I was fuming at it. I was like, if that was me, I'd be giving him death threats. I'd be trying to ruin his life. Like I'd be spending the next year, I'd be quitting like my business and all that.
Would you not retaliate with you wanking?
No, that's what he wants.
Exactly, mate.
And it's gay. And it's gay.
Homophobic, eh? Never catch me doing that.
Listen, I've got a gay pass because my mum's gay. I've told you this before.
Oh, so you do, bastard. I hand out N-word passes. Do you know that? Legit. We have a subscription thing, don't we, Paul? We literally do. It's part of the Files podcast. Like, we don't have a Patreon. We've got a monthly subscription where you can say the N-word as many times as you want, as long as you subscribe to it.
What happens when you actually subscribe? You just get a card for the door?
Aye, we send you like obviously your membership, and then it gives you the date. So you've got to the end of the month, and then you get an
Or you just go one day, you get 24 hours,
yeah.
and it's just a random day in the year.
Obviously, we limit it. You only maybe get 50 times to say it within a month. Aye, mate. You know, sometimes you're just in your room and just say it.
Right, okay. So you're not allowed to say it in public?
No, you are, mate. That's the thing. You like to say it to obviously.
Why would you use one in
black
your
guys.
room then?
Just in case, mate. You know what I mean, just feeling it.
What was I saying? I was in a story. With the wanking thing.
Aye.
So we went out when I had like 10 pints and I started sending them videos of me telling them that I took it to the news.
No way. You must have shat yourself, man.
I was like, I've took it to the news on Friday, the news on Saturday, the news on Sunday, the news on Monday. And I was like, but if you send me 20 grand, I'll retract the messages.
Aye.
And he started sending us these messages back saying that, that's illegal. Like you can't send on someone's like sex stuff.
You also can't send it unless it's consensual.
I was like, I'm pretty sure what yours doing is more illegal. I'm pretty sure, and I was like, I'm not a lawyer, but I'm pretty sure you're wrong.
But you would both be fucked in that way. Because you're blackmailing him, and he's also, obviously...
He deserves to be blackmailed, though. Like surely I have a case.
Ainsley Harriott, he's a blackmail.
What?
Ainsley Harriott.
Who's that?
The chef guy, he's a blackmail.
A black... oh, mate, my brain fucking malfunctioned there for about 10 minutes. And then I just got a full-on picture of him. I was like, oh,
Legend.
see if I was going to do this stand-up set,
Yeah.
just like 5 minutes. By the way, I'm not like trying to do, so see even any sort of like open mic thing, and they do have stuff like that in Melbourne, because I've lived there before.
Yeah.
So I went to quite a few of them, and there's people that come on at the end that were shite. And they're just like clearly like their second or third time. So I reckon I could find just one little 5-minute spot and then ruin everyone's night. Ruin my own night.
It's difficult with 5 minutes as well. So the way I go with 5 minutes have to be like one liner, especially at the start.
Is that what you get mostly, like 5 minutes or 10 minutes?
Well, I'm getting 10 minutes now, so it's a bit more elongated.
Who you upgraded?
Not really, mate. Until I get an official middle spot or like
How does all that work? Because I heard the people on what's that comedy thing that I always watch?
Have a Word.
Yeah, Have a Word. I heard they were talking about
you
like
actually paid for a Patreon and you don't even remember it.
Nah, I forgot the name. I watch it every night. So.
Oh my god, mate, you're an idiot, man. I don't know, mate. Obviously, you do your fives for so long. So say like Red Raw, it's like you do fives for so long, you could end up with like 20, 30. So like Gareth Much, who I met last night and he's coming on my podcast. Like he maybe
Do I plug that more?
I need to, mate, obviously. Like, he's had maybe 20, 30 Red Raws, and there's like obviously comedians out there who go, fuck me, I've done 3 Red Raws and they're not booking me for a 10-minute spot on the Red Raw, which is basically obviously you've been pushed up higher in the pecking order.
Right.
Like they feel confident within your talent. Let's get them on for more time. And once you do that, you kind of get booked for like a weekend spot. Weekends for comedy clubs are elite, obviously.
Friday, Saturday nights.
Everybody's coming out. Do you know what I mean? They're all wanting to laugh.
Well, so you need to start on the Tuesday mornings.
Well,
Breakfast
basically, you do like 5 minutes, and then I personally wouldn't go get a review off them.
Yeah.
So they hand you reviews, and I really don't. They can give you advice. I get that, but I don't like the.
So what's Red Raw again?
It's at the stand.
Right.
So it's like basically where every single major comedian that you can think of from Scotland has done a Red Raw at the stand.
Right.
And so that's where Kevin Bridges first got noticed. And then he fired over to Rotunda, and then fired back there, and you know what I mean? That's how his career shut the fuck up.
Right.
Same with Frankie. Everybody, like a Red Raw is the staple of comedy basically within Glasgow.
Right.
You want to get on that, you want to impress, you want to.
So how many have you done of them?
None, mate.
Are you going to?
I did obviously the Billy one, so I'm looking at a different thing. So now I'm doing one in December, but I'm always saying 5 minutes, but it's a different kind of trial because I've already been in contact with them,
Yeah.
etc. So I'll be doing that, and then we'll see, and I might get pushed a bit further up.
Right.
Hopefully. If not, mate, I'll do about 20 Red Raws until, you know what I mean, you get established enough.
So when you do, like, break down how you prepare for like a 5 minute set. 'Cause obviously I've seen your stuff, and you're probably getting to the point where you're doing all the same jokes and really just refining them.
Basically.
Like, because I've seen quite a lot of your like stuff, and you're just refining the same jokes. How did you come up with all of them at the start? And how much have you tried and just went, that's shite?
I've tried everything basically,
Right.
but didn't get a physical gig for a year.
Is that?
Well, I didn't personally. I don't know, man. I just kept emailing loads of people and that, and they just got patched. But I'm glad I didn't. Cause
Is there no like open mic thing in Glasgow where you can just rock up and just be like?
They say there is, but you're basically already pre-signed. Like, so it's like when I went down to Liverpool. But
Hot water.
See, hot water. There's 2 things, like you can go down and you sign up on the sheet at 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
But I did an actual spot at hot water, so I was kind of different. But he did reserve these spots because we were coming for Glasgow, so he just booked us.
But if you were Liverpool, you could just turn up maybe.
Not on that night, but on the open mic night. So see if I'm coming for Glasgow and I want to do like the open mic, he will reserve you a spot there.
Right.
Because obviously you're coming for so far.
Last time you were on, you were starting to do gigs when we first started talking, you hadn't done many. So you're getting a lot more now.
Well, I celebrated like officially 1 year of solid gigs.
Right.
Like
How many would you say that is?
50 maybe.
50, that's good.
I just aimed for like try and get 1 gig a week and keep yourself refined.
And how much better have you felt?
Oh, a lot, mate. Like you're more confident on stage, obviously, and everything's flowing. But see when you go with your 5 minutes. So there's a great female comedian called Viv G. She does comedy courses, of which I think are gay. If you do comedy courses, you're gay. Right?
I agree. What's this called?
Don't actually get butt rammed at them, mate. But she does all these amazing comedy courses, and like loads of comedians, like big name comedians, have done them. I'm pretty sure Daniel Sloss did her comedy course as well. And she, when I spoke to her,
He's also gay.
he is very gay actually. He's just had a child, so I don't think he's that gay. But when I did a gig with her, and when I came off the stage, we just spoke for ages. It was the same like yesterday when I was at Monkey Barrow with Mark Nelson. See, MD who's there, who is professional. I don't understand how, obviously there's some wanks in the game, but there's not many. See, when they're that established, they're not actually that dickish.
You don't find, no.
Comedians. It's the ones who are still doing kind of pub-esque gigs, and they can't seem to get a regular spot at a comedy club.
Bitter as fuck.
But they're still classed as professional because the length of time that they've done it. They tend to be the ones that are a bit more cunty because they feel as though they're a pedestal above you. Whereas see like Mark Nelson, 5G, who've been doing it for years, and they're at the comedy club stages and they've done like obviously theatres, etc., etc. They just don't care, mate. They're just there. They recognise if you're coming up to them, what they recognise is you're passionate and you want to be on the level that they are. You're willing to put that effort in, so they will give you as much advice as possible.
Well, I'd imagine if you get the club comics that have been at it for years and years and years, but they see like people like Paul Black and all that, like just skyrocket on social media, I reckon that's just like they'll get better about that.
Well, the comedy club ones don't. It's the pub-esque ones do.
What's the difference? What do you mean by the difference?
Right, so
I probably know what you mean, but people are listening won't know what you mean.
You get classes like, so I don't know, say you've been doing comedy 20 years, right? And the closest you've been to headlining is just a pub gig. There's nothing wrong with it, right? It's you still make a living, you probably still full time if you can get one every day, basically, right? But there's the whole different level of I'm the comedy club comedian. Do you know what I mean?
Like the stand sort of thing?
Yeah, like your stand, your rotunda, etc., etc. Yeah. And I feel as though when I meet a lot of headliners who just do the pubs, like they just do the pubs, they do tend to be a bit more bitter. And I don't know, maybe that's because they're like, oh, like I've been doing this for so long, I should be at that level. But I always feel as though they miss the small details. Yeah. And once they all
miss the small details, and what small details?
I don't know, it's difficult to explain. So like,
we'll fucking try.
But Mark Nelson, so he would travel from here to London on a megabus.
That's disgusting.
For 5 minutes, 10 minutes to stand up.
I fucking hate them.
Right? So that's effort, and that's trying to learn from a different culture how to be universally funny. The ones like who might just headline the pubs up here, they refuse to get out of a Scottish bubble. Yeah. So that is what I've been told by Alan Anderson, who owns Rotunda. He says it's about effort, consistency, learning from every culture.
I think that's the same. I think that's a life lesson he's gave you, not a comedy lesson.
Aye, but it's adapted towards comedy because that's
I know what you mean, but like he's right about everything though.
100%, aye. Like
absolutely everything.
And that's the running theme. See, when you ask any professional comedian, they go, it's consistency and how much do you want it.
Yeah, even all the comedians I watch the American ones quite a lot. I don't find them that funny. I like Joe Rogan's podcast, but I don't find him funny. Yeah. I think Tim Dillon's hilarious.
I thought his special was shit.
I've not. I actually don't watch their specials, to be fair. See, even all the ones I've told you, I watch like little sets and stuff. I've been to see quite a lot, but I would never see these YouTube specials. I don't know. I just never watch it. He had a Netflix
special, didn't he? It was. I don't know.
I don't know about you, but I just don't. I don't enjoy sitting down and watching a stand-up like special when I'm not there. I love being there, but I just don't feel the same when I watch it on YouTube.
Well, that's because the special is built for TV. Whereas if you go see comedy in its rawest form,
like there'll be no like slagging people around.
But there's no filter, there's no editing, there's no jump cuts, any of that shit. It's all stand-up comedy in its rawest form. Do you know what I mean? No edits. That's the main thing. But
I really don't enjoy watching it as like a recorded set. I like TikTok clips and stuff like that. I'll enjoy, but to sit and watch like a 40 to an hour special, I just don't enjoy it.
Well, comedians cater it for TV audience. They don't cater it for a physical audience.
It's a different audience, isn't it?
Completely, mate. Because you're coming into somebody's fucking home.
Yeah, I seen Shane Todd go. There's two black guys. I won't remember which one.
Oh, racism, eh?
Chris, I fucked this up the other day, and I was actually like in the studio that Shane Todd records his studio, and the producer that was producing.
Is he not on his own studio?
It's in like a building. It's cool as fuck. But So Shane Todd's producer was producing those ones that I was doing.
Did you not say to him, here, can you get Shane on?
I probably would be able to, but I would use that later down the line. I would love to get them on, but I'm not like in a rush to do anything like that. And also, when I had Jamaica Street on, I like having you on because it like gets me better at it. But it's a whole different type of podcasting as well, because I remember I told you I was stressed out about the Jamaica Street one. I ended up watching that back, and I was just being pedantic.
I don't know why you're stressed out, because it was funny.
It's probably the best podcast I've done. Like it was really good. I was more, see when they do like accents and stuff.
Aye.
I can't do them, so I can't join in.
Can't do it without sounding racist.
Exactly. Everything I would do would just sound Japanese.
Oh my god.
American, whatever, Scouse, German.
He's talking about Salzburg, and you'd be like, I need you.
Exactly. That's what I'd be like. So when they're doing that, but I just was watching this going, this is hilarious. But then they would, like, just naturally as a conversation, they would say something and then they turn back to me and I'm like, konnichiwa.
See, when I thought they were like Pierce and Lewis before I had them on. I thought they were these like pure pretentious wanks.
Oh, really?
I genuinely did. Nothing to do with like, I don't mean pretentious, that's not the word. I just thought they were these mad PC guys, because when you watch their sketches, it isn't.
And they are
hardcore. But
when you ask them about it, they are trying to be a bit.
No, they are. 100%. But when you actually have them on, like we were talking about being part of the Madeline McCann fan club.
I think you kind of fucked them a bit with.
How? How?
You could tell that's your topic, not theirs.
They brought it up.
No, they didn't. No chance.
He literally brought it up to me.
Madeline McCann.
He brought up like so many conspiracies.
I've listened to this podcast, and that's a lie.
That is not.
You brought it up.
I didn't. That was the one time I didn't bring up Madeline McCann.
Right. Let's have a more pointless argument. So, with them,
I didn't even tell you anything about Viv G. So she explained to me.
Is this another black guy?
No, Viv G's the woman who I just explained.
Okay.
What black guy's going to be called Viv G?
I'm just scared it could come out at any point.
So she told me about, you get your strongest 5 minutes, and that's how you lead up to doing a 10, right? You get your strongest 5 minutes, you solidify
And then you
it.
repeat it.
No, you do it for a wee while, and then what you end up doing is you retract a minute, add a minute, and then you you constantly are doing that, and you're working to see what ones add in, and then before you know it, she goes, you've subconsciously built 10 minutes and you didn't even know.
Right. So she's trying to do it in a way that will help your head.
Aye, basically.
More than anything.
Yeah.
That makes sense, doesn't it?
Because you're obviously like, so you do like a run of gigs, so you do like 15, right? And you've done that 5 minute. That's got your confidence sky high.
Yeah.
Because in the 5 minutes, you know it's solid. And then you go, right, I'm just going to remove a minute here and add a minute. So it's like 4 minutes here, settle kill. Because you know it will.
And then you're always trialing some. And also you're trialing that minute after you know you've done stuff that works.
Exactly.
So you're also trialing it on people that are already quite happy listening to you try stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas if you came out with that first minute straight away, it's mad, isn't it? Because that's so simple, but you wouldn't think about it.
I know. But that's what I'm talking about. Like, that's why I always encourage anybody who's on a bill with a professional comedian, why are you not picking their brain? It's like getting handed a cheat code and going, now I'll do it on my own.
I naturally do this with everyone. I naturally do this with anyone that's doing quite well. I'll sit and just ask them questions.
You've got to.
And I always will not. I'll also, like, anyone that's DM'd me, like any personal trainer that DMs me, if I've got time, I'll happily sit and help them. Because none of it's got comedians. I don't have a competition with each other. None of it's. No, I don't. I know they do, but I mean, as in, it's not real.
No.
Like, as in, yous can all get gigs.
Always, there's always going to be gigs.
Every single one of yous can get gigs.
Yeah.
Every single one of yous can, like, make a career out of it.
Aye.
Same with PT, and when PTs get competitive, I was like, mate, everyone's fat.
Aye. We're in Scotland, mate.
There's no competition for
our
people that are overweight.
Fucking sugar.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
like,
you're going to be able to get
sitting on a gold mine if you stop being a knob.
Aye, exactly.
So I think that's the same with comics. Would you practice your 5 minutes, like, and like, mate, I'm actually like gonna do this. I'll maybe get someone to record it, and you're the only person that can see it, right?
And I will release it instantly to everybody and go, this guy's fucking shit. Don't book him anywhere.
I'm not gonna be a fucking stand-up comic.
You never know, mate. Like, you could do it, and you get the itch and you get the feeling.
I think that could happen, but I still think I'll do this, but I'd still do that on the side. I'd maybe give me another interest. So see what I'm noticing so I've been doing in-person PT for 9 months, and I've just literally stopped to do this, stopped maybe like 10 days ago, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to do it again. See, as soon as I stop working in person with anyone, like I'd start working online, make my social skills go.
Of course, because you're always around people.
Like people start talking to me, I'm like, stop it.
It's like you're coming out of COVID again, isn't it?
Exactly, that's what it's like.
Aye.
And that's what happened to me last time. Like when I first moved back to Scotland, that's why I was doing it. So I literally just sat in a 37th floor apartment, just like not being able to speak to anyone.
Fucking hell, man.
Like,
Brutal.
so I need something that will put me out there. And I, even with like personal training, like I was always thinking down the line, I'd maybe do talks, whether it be like talks about nutrition or something like that. Just because I know that I would like that. And I need to practice like talking to people.
Right.
Or practice like some sort of like talking in front of people all the time. Otherwise the skill
But you do it with
goes.
this, didn't you, all the time?
It's different though. Like I'm quite comfortable doing this now.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean? It's different. This doesn't transfer to, well, it does sometimes. See if I get somebody new. It doesn't when it's you. And I've met,
All right, mate.
when I've met you, it does when I get like Jamaica Street in, like because I hadn't really met them before.
You feel a bit
Like,
more pressure?
yeah, the girl that I had on after them, it's that I don't know her, so you are meeting a brand new person, and a lot of people find that intimidating, and I do as well.
Yeah.
But I need to keep constantly doing stuff like that, and I think stand up could be a good thing to try.
Can I go take a shit?
Aye, go for it.
I'll be 5 minutes. I think my stomach's dying.
Can I keep that in?
Aye, of course, mate.
On you go.
You just why, mate, just take a camera in? Start talking. Take me, I'm dying.
What happened to you? Don't drink this at this time. That is psychotic behaviour. Like genuinely psychotic.
Don't just leave them to it.
When do you go to sleep?
11 o'clock every night.
You with that?
Aye.
There's no way you sleep well.
Do you know have cold showers?
What?
Do you know have cold showers?
What are you talking
You have
about?
a cold shower going into a lavender bed, puts you straight to sleep.
Shut up.
Find that out, you got it.
Is that factually accurate?
I don't know, mate. I have a cold shower in the morning, but not at night.
Do you know, you never read Matthew Walker's book?
I didn't say that. Shut up.
Why
Do you know what Matt Walker's book done?
Right.
Put me to sleep with how fucking boring it was.
Exactly, mate, so I read it every night.
10 minutes in, I was like, fuck this. At least, like you said, with Jordan Peterson throwing a dick joke, keep me entertained.
I feel as, do you know, are we recording by the way? Oh, right, classman, so you can just hear my shit.
Oh, definitely, we'll put that in.
Do you know if I feel that with Joe Rogan? See when he gets all these cunts on, it's like they seem to be the most smartest of people, and then you end up just going, everyone of them are retards.
Like who? Like what?
Matthew
John?
Walker, Jordan Peterson, what's that, Milo, isn't it, that guy? Aye. Do you remember that the big
No.
gay guy, you know, like he would come on and he'd say all this mad mental right-wing stuff?
Joe Rogan does love promoting right wing stuff, doesn't he?
What is it he says he is? He's not right-wing, he's it's basically just right-wing, isn't it? Aye.
Are you left or right?
Nah, I'm central.
I'm ambidextrous.
Aye. I'm gay, mate. I'm gay. I can't be in like that. So
Fucking hell, what was I going? I don't even know. You put me off with this shit.
sorry, mate. I just didn't want to shit myself here.
What were you like in school? Genuinely,
Bad at this primary.
primary,
Aye.
not high school.
No, well, I kind of grew up, didn't I? So I basically remember I'm in care, so I got moved. And then once you get moved, that's an unstable child, isn't it? So
When
therefore
did
you
you? So you went into a care homes for older people.
I'm not
What?
that old.
What's the children one?
Just foster home.
Right.
Yeah.
So what age were you when you went into that?
I'd have been 7 or 6, 7.
And did you start acting up like as soon as that sort of
No, I was
happened?
always mental.
Right. Okay.
So, but it just, once you get put from home to home to home, you don't settle well. So therefore, when you get put into a school environment, how are you meant to settle in school when you don't even know where your house is?
Like, let me stay here.
Aye, do you know what I mean? So then you end up acting out and just being a wee dick. I remember I threw a chair right at a fucking teacher and that, just cause.
What else did you do?
Just battered of them.
Did you fight a lot?
Violent as fuck, mate. Honestly, so violent.
Is that why you do MMA now, I think?
Nah, mate. It's jailing up. It's jailing. I just
grew up.
no, I just, I don't know. That was all I knew as well, was violence. So I just thought, that must be how everybody communicates. So therefore, I'll crack everything.
So how do you think you calmed down in high school then? I was probably the opposite.
I just felt as though I had years of knowing where I was meant to be. So I had the same house.
So did you like do well in high school?
No, well, I've got hires and that, but
Did you? How many hires?
3.
I got 2. Geography and PE.
Oh, did you, mate? Right up.
Geography and PE, the most pointless.
I've got
hires.
PE, music and history.
That's just as
Aye,
pointless.
mate, it's
Music.
not even a higher, mate. Like, it's just not. Mate, do you know,
They're trying to up me with music.
like 60% of your grade is your practical, and I was obviously shit hot at drums.
Right.
So I went, class, I've already passed in. And you basically are given a C based on your practical.
Do you think a lot of like maybe what happened in your childhood is what led you to like comedy?
Oh, 100%. That's all my jokes are. Like, they're all trauma based. And I feel as though when I'm writing for comedy, my brain is more attracted towards things that can be traumatic to civilization. So that's why I make jokes about all these fucked up situations. I try
Stop trying to
them
make
better.
as if you actually
But
think about your jokes. You just try to
Mate,
say
I
the
think
worst
about
thing
I think
possible.
about my jokes all the time. Have you not seen my monologues, like the one I did about the royal family?
Yeah, I seen
Like,
that
that's overly thought. That was thought out to fuck.
one.
Because see what the clever thing about that was, right? The Queen obviously died, and my only joke.
How long after did you wait to post that? Because I was sitting on that, see the Queen thing. I was sat on that for like 3 or 4 weeks, and I just fired it on the guest that I had that week. I was like, "It's ready. Here, you're having this."
I was like, I waited a week, and then I went, right, I'll record it on a week after her death, and then I'll edit it up, and then I'll fuck it out basically the day.
So
after.
thoughtful.
Yeah, it was, but no, but I'd already had been writing jokes around it. So the whole thing that I did was the one joke I only made about the Queen was, turns out God couldn't save the Queen. Right, it's the most obvious joke there. And then after it, all I did was, obviously I've got the joke and it says during her funeral, it was the only time the royal family weren't allowed to use the N word. And of course, talking about the word nonce. And then I made it all about Prince Andrew because that was the main thing about like her funeral. I feel like that took away for like
Everything.
for the Queen, because it was like, why? It's the most British thing ever, isn't it? It's like you let a fucking paedophile on TV for 30 years and then you bring on another one, like a literal convicted
It's
paedophile.
like I do really hate the way the UK as a whole like operates. As I like the culture here and I love the culture in Scotland, but I hate how it operates as a whole. Like when the Queen died, like everyone like why was Asda shut? Gives a fuck.
Do you know why it happened? But it's because
Why she died?
No, well, she's old as shit. I'm surprised she didn't die last winter. Do you know what I mean? But it was, I felt with a lot of people that I knew was they had lost a gran, so they associated her death with their own gran, and they put that emotion, and maybe they didn't like see when their gran died. Maybe they didn't release that emotion, and then as soon as some famous old bitch dies, it basically released everything that they'd felt. And also, like, we go through that thing. Like, we literally have lived in 2 massive historical events. So this is the last time we'll have a queen for like our life, our kids' life. Do you know what I mean? That's
See, when you say that as if that's meant to like really hit me in a nerve or
no,
something.
but it's huge. Like, that's a huge fucking historical
I
event.
just don't honestly like associate with them whatsoever. I've never gave less of a fuck. Like when the Queen died, I couldn't have cared less at all.
No, I obviously didn't care, but I feel as though as a humans always miss that. Like, we went through a huge pandemic, mate. Then like another historical event, and we just went, "I cool, man. We're just going."
I'm just sick of historic events.
You just don't want any history.
I just want 3 years after them. Do you know what I mean?
I always found it mental with the Queen. Though, I mean, she brings so much money. I was like, no, she doesn't.
Do you know what?
The palace does.
Do you know what was frustrating me as well? They were going, "That she was so funny." When has she ever?
Made you
Where
see
are
it
these
live at Apollo?
jokes?
She was in live at Apollo, mate.
Where are the jokes?
None, mate. Literally none.
It's like, oh, I met the Queen. She was lovely. Well, why is there no evidence?
Oh, Prince Andrew's funny. Like, he raped kids. That's really funny.
So see when I was talking about the British culture, it's so this will be uploaded in like 3 weeks. I'd love to see what the sort of consensus is on Matt Hancock in 3 weeks.
Aye, mate.
Oh, he's fine.
To be fair, ITV, if they could get Hitler back, they'd give him 400 grand to go on that show.
And I'm not being funny. I actually like that show, but it's actually a good watch. I know you probably look at the stare you're giving me. I actually like that program.
Are you hearing this, pal? I'm a Celebrity is a good show.
I don't
It's utter shite, mate.
Nah, I enjoy
If you
it.
want to see somebody at Tesco's go watch gay porn,
No, I enjoy it.
you don't enjoy I'm a Celebrity.
I do. I watch it every night with my dad,
Well, wanking
and then
your
I
dad
watch
off.
Have a Word on Patreon because I pay for it.
I think this might be the last time we ever talk, mate. I can't believe this.
Genuinely, like I've been watching Matt Hancock on I'm a Slave for the last like 5
Matt
minutes.
grabbing the Hancock.
Yeah.
Like a guy who fucking killed like 200,000 people.
Oh, right. As much as I'm not going to defend him, don't think he didn't kill 200,000 people. That makes it sound as if
All
he
his
had a...
constituencies, policies did.
I know, but see if you look at COVID as a whole, the full world sort of had that approach. I would never defend, like, I'd never defend Tories, but the full world had the same approach with lockdowns. Well, what country didn't lockdown that you give a fuck about? I don't know any what
Russia,
happened.
maybe?
No, they did, did they not?
Yeah. You know it's bad that they're doing that, you know what I mean?
So, like,
Aye.
are you going to blame Matt Hancock for something like
Aye, mate.
the full world
And they put
done?
us into a financial
I do blame him
crisis.
for a lot of stuff. I don't blame him for a lot of stuff. I don't think he actually had much control of what was going on. I know he's
he
health
put
minister.
in constituencies in place for his pals to get more money.
Well, what? So
What is it, the PPE?
right. So let's also. I'm very uneducated on this.
Aye, so am I, but fuck it. Just make up things.
That's it, yeah.
Mate,
Just-
Matt Hancock was in a KKK. Do you not see it, mate? Like, you know what I mean?
Like, so people start talking to me about this, I just like come across like as if I really know what I'm talking about, but I don't right
The
now. 'cause I don't.
KKK, like their finances went up to $1 billion, and it was because of him.
He
You
funded
can
it.
quote me on that.
He founded it and funded it.
No, but so did you watch the bit in it? And he's talking about how politicians swerve questions. He literally says it live on the TV.
Does he?
Aye,
What did he
mate.
say?
He's talking to like Sean Walsh and all that, and he's like,
It's an art, isn't it? The way they swerve them.
"Oh, mate, it's amazing." So he's like, "We technically address the question, but we never give a definitive answer."
Mhm.
And he says, and we're all basically correlate with one another to how we can improve on doing that.
So they never have to answer a question.
Never.
ever.
They
I'm just
technically do, but they
convinced.
don't.
Just don't get involved in watching politics. I don't think it can do anything positive for
The
your
politics
life.
will always be involving you. You're a stat towards politics.
I don't give. What are you talking
You
about?
do give a fuck, but because it affects you in the grander scheme of things.
It doesn't really.
Well, you're getting taxed more. So am I. So is Paul. So it's going to affect everybody. And that's politics.
But you don't have to watch it and pay attention because there's nothing you can
But you do. 'Cause
really
if you
do.
don't, if you don't pay attention, you could lose out on so much more. Like
Cool.
you will be affected. So you do have to have some form of understanding. That's why they talk about should it be put more into high school.
It's already in high school.
I but for your 6th year, you need to pass higher English to get into.
Do you know
higher
what they should
politics.
teach you in high school? How to fucking set up a direct debit or something fucking useful.
But same
They
with,
don't teach you-
same with
they don't-
politics. They should teach it.
They don't teach you anything. They don't teach you anything that goes into real life. How, you don't. See in school? Why do you not like learn how to even like apply for a job?
I don't know. It's so backwards. It's just kind of set in its ways, isn't it?
It's just like, oh,
like a
here,
racist grander.
remember all this pointless stuff, and then fuck off,
Aye.
and then go.
Well, do you
in.
not think that as well? Like, so you basically
Like
go from-
finances and all that. Like, how many people just go in and like, I got given a credit card when I was 18, and within a year I had $3,000 credit card debt on it because they never, because
That's on you. I
but I didn't know what it was. At 18, you're so stupid.
think it's free money, don't you?
Yeah, so that's what like. So they just took me in a room, shagged me, and then
Of course. Like, that's how you set up a direct debit. Isn't it?
and then they told me that for the first year there'd be no interest on it.
Aye.
So obviously you just hear that, and like honestly, I get like I understand that that's stupid, but at 18 it's not that stupid because that's why they do it. That's
Aye.
specifically why.
To get you in debt to
Yeah,
pay them more. Aye,
exactly.
Of course, mate.
So the fact you don't get taught anything like that in school at all.
Aye.
I'm surprised you were well behaved in high school.
I wasn't well behaved, mate. Like, I would just say I was just equally as much a bam as everybody. Like, I wasn't too good or too bad. I was just all right.
I would say it's a wee bit too bad, but also I don't regret any of it because most of the teachers were wankers.
Aye.
And I think you're a sociopath if you want to become a teacher. There's so many teachers listening to this, but I honestly think you're an actual,
Or a paedophile.
yeah.
Do you want
That's
to
a
hear
good
something funny about
paedophiles.
no, a school teacher at mine, right? He was my music teacher. He didn't fuck me, right? He fucked the lasses in my class. So that's
Multiple?
all right. Aye. Well,
Multiple?
mate, this is what came out in like a court case. Basically, he went to like my school and then he moved to another school and he'd been basically caught riding these fucking wee lassies. They're not wee lassies, so they're like 16, but it's obviously still illegal.
Yeah.
And in his, I shit you not, this was his defence.
They were hot.
No, mate, worst. It's
He was fit, mate.
no, I bet they were asking for it.
That's what he said.
That's what he said. And obviously, he must have expected the judge to go, fuck, mate, I didn't know that, man.
You make a good
Aye,
point.
mate, fair play, man, not guilty. Obviously, the judge went straight away, guilty.
We had a boy in the year above me, and I was only ever in one class with him, and he was just one of those. We had a few people that you were just like school shooter, Do you know what I mean?
Aye, mate.
I had like maybe 2 or 3 in my year. He was the one in the year above, and 2 years after we left school, nonce.
Of course.
Like,
Because you
genuine.
kind of pre-tell already, like how weird they are. and
That
shit
should be
in school.
involved in schools. You
Fun
should
kids.
get like a
It is. It's massively involved in schools.
genuine.
Imagine it, you go to RE, mate, and fucking do it's like, right, mate, we're going to learn about nonsense.
Not how to
just
spot.
draws, the Kevin Bridges just draws Jimmy Savile on it and goes, be aware.
Just like something that is given out to all the pupils that's anonymous,
Aye.
and just like rate the top 5 people that you think are going to shoot people, murder people, or rape nonce. Put them together. The top 5.
Imagine
And I bet you how many people you would catch, because
how
I knew
many-
he was a nonce, and he was.
How many of your pals are putting you forward for that, by the way?
True.
100%. They're all just doing it, aren't they?
I mean, he's a big nonce.
I mean, he's a fucking rapist. Mate. Put him on that. Mate, we had, now you're talking about like a school shooter. Went to a trip to Switzerland. Right? Nothing to do with euthanasia, although this guy should have been euthanized, by the way. Holy shit. And obviously, at the airport, you can buy like Swiss Army knives, like with the fucking, do you know what I'm talking about? He bought that, and it was like, basically just says, the second we got on the bus, I'm going to stab him.
Who?
Like, just one of the guy, a pupil.
Right.
And obviously the lecturer took that off him, and then he went into his case and had loads of them. Like loads of these knives.
Right.
And he was still allowed to finish his last 2 years at school.
Google him right now. Is he still cutting about?
I don't know.
Because I genuinely think most of these people like do stuff.
You
do
think they're
something.
all right? Aye, well, if you're doing shit like that at school, 100% you're going to murder somebody the second you leave it. Or
Yeah.
you've already killed some cunt.
How many like proper weirdos did your school have?
I went to
And I'm not talking
balmy
about people
school,
that
man.
are. By the way, I'm not talking about people that you would bully. I'm talking about like people that are like, oh my god, they're
Aye, well, he was definitely one of them.
100%.
Aye.
That's fried.
But even at like one class, some cunt called him a retard and he just grabbed the mouse of a computer and walloped him across the face and all that. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was so like spontaneous to just aggression, like on any situation.
See, in our free period class, we were in 6th year, and one of the boys that fall into this category had a fight with a first year.
Deserved it.
A full on fight.
Does it, mate? We guys are dicks.
And I watched my lunch. Unreal.
Mate, I had this RE teacher and he was called Mr. Tolley. Now, if you know what Tolley stands for, it means toilet. And I'm not even kidding. He smelt worse than the toilet. Like the shit I've just done there. Like, he honestly reeked. And when I was at school, it was when like Scotland had the peak fucking snow.
Right.
And he's teaching this RE lesson. And there's this guy called Mckinney, man. And he ran just right by the window and went, oh, Tolley, mate, launched this huge snowball and just fucking walloped the cunt straight in the face. And as he went by, I think some guys went like to him, he was needing the wash anyway. Poor cunt, man, trying to teach you about Jesus and all that, man, getting wild with fucking snowballs.
You never listened in RE. That was like
No,
always
RE's
the most
pointless.
pointless. That was the most pointless one. That's where we should get life advice.
Did you get it like you had to do it?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Well, I went to a Catholic school, so ours wasn't even like first.
right.
First year I went to Shamrock Academy, and we got to learn about like Muslims, and then I got straight into the.
You had to learn about Muslims? Was that taught?
you got taught about different
Just
religions.
focuses in Catholic, obviously.
Yeah, whereas when I went to Holy Cross, we just got Catholic stuff.
Bible bashed.
Hail Mary, full of grace. I used to never say any of the, because I actually wasn't Catholic. I'm not Catholic. I love saying Fenian jokes and all that, but I'm actually not Catholic.
No.
And there was a full like steward's inquiry when I joined that school.
Aye.
Like, I can't remember her name. She was the deputy head teacher, right? Probably still is. She was the worst. She was a fucking boot. But she was like, "Is he a good Catholic boy?" My mum was like, No,
He's a hun.
he's not. And she's like, well, and then my mum was like, but he's still allowed to join. We've already like inquired. And she's like, well, and we're like, no, he's not. And I was just like, I'm still coming.
How many paedophiles were at your school?
Well, there's one certified one, that guy.
Aye. But I mean, teacher-wise, surely. It's Catholic school, isn't it? You know what I mean?
I'd say there's a few.
Aye.
I'd say there is. But it's the same. Like I remember the art teacher, something dodgy happened.
Aye.
Our art teachers are always alcoholics.
Is that like a stereotype?
Well,
for art
we
teachers?
had three, and they were all
Is it
alcoholics.
not usually your fucking tech teacher?
No, our techie teacher was drugs.
Oh, right.
There's a clear difference, Sean.
Aye.
He was doped up to fuck.
Was he?
Aye, all the time.
My tech teacher like, fucking clawed the middle of his finger off, man, and just went, right, I'll need to go to the hospital, and just walked out like as if it was a casual thing. And I was like, mate, the fucking full finger, there's blood everywhere. And we all like 13, all looking at this guy, just sawed his finger off. And he just literally grabs his finger and goes, right, I'm going to go to the hospital.
Our RE teacher caught me drawing a cock on my mate's jaw, right? And then something else happened to him as well. So I drew a cock on his jaw, and she ripped it out, right? And was like, take this to your guidance teacher.
Right.
And I just obviously, just like, she was like, right, so you're going to, this is obviously bad. You've drawn a cock, take this to your guidance teacher. I just obviously was like, I'm just going to go walk. I'm obviously not. So I'm obviously not walking up to my guidance teacher going, hello, drew a cock.
You should have just went, this was for my art project, what do you think? You know what I mean?
And anyway, I just took, like, I came back and she was like, what did she say? And I was like, fucking gave me a right bollocking. So she did. Obviously never hammed. And then she phoned the guidance teacher like the next lesson, and then the guidance teacher she also came with a cock with her when I was in like PE or something, and she dragged me out. She was like, what is this?
That's brilliant.
And she forced me to take that home and get my mum to sign it.
Your mum had to sign a cock?
My mum had to sign.
Your mum's gay, she would never have done that. You know what I mean? Shocking.
My mum had.
Maybe that's what made her gay.
Maybe it is. Seen her son draw a cock.
Draw a cock, she had to sign it.
And suck it.
Wait, what? Wait, what? Oh, that would turn into gay. It would.
Anyway, so my mum just found that funny.
I think
She's like, that's quite funny.
I sometimes think that, like,
See, if I seen somebody drawing a cock, I'd just be like,
mate, 100%.
that everybody does it.
But think about it, like, see when you have a kid, I don't know how I could discipline a child. Well, of course, is that from
That's the same one. That's the same one.
Your mum's signature's not on it. But do you know what it feels like when I don't know how I can sit and tell my kid not to make all these things, and then imagine him going to see me like on YouTube. Do you know what I mean?
I have not changed.
Aye,
One single bit.
even when I'm 40, I'll still be doing this.
Definitely. I remember our physics teacher, she was a fucking worst cunt as well. And although it was pretty evil what I'd done to her, but she went.
What'd you do?
I was always on report. Like always, I had to take like a wee report, and that's why I had to get it signed. So she had to she stapled the cock
Mate, this is mental.
to the report.
Oh, you're just drawing a dick.
And my mum said, and then see the same teacher.
What would you do if like the art teacher was that drunk he thought it was an actual like Picasso thing and he's trying to like auction this fucking signatured cock?
I'd be rich because I'm class at drawing cocks. Anyway,
Quite a pretty good chub there.
the physics teacher, when she went out the class for saying, I sculpted a masterpiece of a cock.
Of course, mate. He's the fucking super bad guy, isn't he? Like, you know what I mean? Like just Jonah Hill's character drawing non-stop dicks.
Out of blue tack.
Oh my god,
I
man.
hated her, to be fair. I hated her. She always made me sit down the front, and I put it down, and she went absolutely. Like, have you seen it when a teacher goes like absolutely ballistic, and it's just like the full room is just like, especially when you know you're the one that done it, and you know everyone in the room knows you're the one that done it. But I used to get away with stuff like that for some like the odd time because people quite liked me, so like no one like grasped me in. And she took like
I think
three
if
other.
they would know, like, it's a dick, it's probably.
But there was like three of us in the class that could have been capable of doing it, so I was like,
Three, what's going on with your school, man? A Catholic school, always are drawing dicks. Is that kind of sus, or is that sus?
probably.
Very sus.
Why do you think I've got trauma?
True, mate.
Did you have mental teachers?
Nah, mate, nobody was that mental.
No.
Nah, not really. Just went to Caldervale, mate. It wasn't fucking. We did have a teacher that would like basically dress up as Indiana Jones every day. Like And no joke, mate, like he just had the mad fucking Indiana Jones hat, like the fucking leather jacket, the mad, what do you call it, cargo pants, mate. He was just missing an Airdrie, mate, and he was just missing the whip, and I was like, if he turns up to a whip, man, we're all fucked here. Do you know what I mean?
We had one teacher called Mr. Ross. He's a PE teacher, and he was just that classic, like he's like in his 30s or whatever, and he just loved screaming at kids. Do you know what I mean? He just got something out of that. Remember, like when we were in like fourth year or whatever, you'd see like a first year would get sent to them because they hadn't remembered their kit or whatever.
Aye.
He would just scream at them in front of like loads of kids that were older than them. And it was just like horrific. So I grew up for about 5 years and everybody hated him. We'd had like one time, my mate Fishy, Mr. Ross was doing like a cartwheel and he had like mad pit stains the full time, and he was doing like a gymnastics routine, and everybody hated him, right, because he was an arsehole. So, but like a lot of people were scared of him, so he was just doing like this mad routine. He was going in a handstand and all that, and everyone like could see his pit stain, so everyone was laughing. So then he done like a cartwheel, and then Fishy behind him the full time he was pretending to like shoot him.
Was he one of the school shooters?
No. He just kept on like pretending to shoot him, and then he got into a handstand to look behind him, and Fishy's like that.
Class.
He just gets straight out of the handstand. He's like, Stephen Fisher outside.
Is that why it was called Fishy, just because it's Fisher?
Yeah.
Honestly, mate, the fucking nicknames at school are just mental.
I love it.
Aye.
But anyway, see him. I can't remember what the class was called. It was like some stupid thing in 6th year that you just, it was like an int 2 thing. It was like it was like sports coaching or something like that. But I was a reprobate in 6th year. I didn't even go to school or anything. My attendance was like 50%. I was just like, I didn't even do any exams. I wasn't allowed to
Didn't do a single exam section?
No. Well, I went the full year. I just wanted to go prom.
Fuck it. See, you weren't allowed to. See, it was if you didn't have a
They
certain
tried
attendance and all that.
so like 3 of my mates, 3 or 4 people got banned from going to prom, but our prom was in like April.
Right.
So I just lived life on the edge and just stayed slightly over the line. But they did try. They were like, you should apply for jobs, and I was like, I should go to prom.
Oh, but that's so funny when they do shit like that.
And but this would have been after prom, and I wasn't getting the qualification, so I'd already kind of dropped out all the stuff you had to do, because you had to do like 40 hours of like teaching kids, and I was like, that's
Fuck all that noise.
obviously not happening.
Aye.
And then we had like a assistant teacher in for the day, and like there was like primary school kids there, and like everyone was taking a class,
Right.
but there was like 3 of us that had dropped out of the thing. But we were basically just playing football now. That's all the class was.
Class.
We were just playing football, and anything that was to do with the actual qualification, we just sat out, maybe like studied for other exams or whatever.
Okay, mate. Aye.
Anyway, she was like trying to force me to do it, and I was like, I don't get anything out of doing that. Like, I'm not getting the qualification, so I'm not standing in front of 30 kids and taking a class like without any prep. Like, I'm not prepped for this. Everyone else has. I'm not doing it.
Just say some freestyle, mate. Know what you like.
And she was started going mental at me. I was like, I'm not doing it. So she said, there was 3 of us as well, by the way.
Right.
So she sent us out, and then Mr. Ross comes back and he takes us into another room, ready to just start shouting at us. He was like, why have you done this? And I explained, I'm not getting the qualification. And he just went on this rant. He's like, when you have a new assistance teacher, you do what she says. And I just went, shut up, mate.
What?
Swear to God, right? My mate Coyle was next to me, and Coyle just went, Gav, don't. And then he went, what did you just say? What did you say? And I went, shut up, mate. And he went, absolutely.
Of course he did.
I meant, but see, at that point when I was like nearly about to turn 18, the guy was an arsehole as well. So I've just had enough. Do you know what I mean? And like, I'm not getting anything out of like doing anything. I'm not getting anything out of him shouting at me right now. He was just going to shout at us for 10 minutes anyway, for something that we didn't do that was wrong at all. Like, we didn't do anything wrong. So he was shouting at me, and like at that point, you're not scared of them anymore either.
Because you're like big bollocks, isn't it, at that stage, man?
You're not scared of them. So he was shouting at me in the hallway, and I was just staring at him like I don't give a, like, I was like, hit me.
Have you ever met a teacher like outside of school?
I met one that was really, really sound in Tesco in Uddingston.
Right, don't you wish you met that cunt
Mm-hmm.
to just crack him?
Mm-hmm.
Aye.
I wouldn't have a nice conversation with him if I met him. Do you know what I mean? It wouldn't be
Just
nice.
say you were a cunt.
Yeah, exactly. Because he was like,
Aye.
he's definitely an arsehole, and he took me up to the deputy head teacher, the same one that always hated me, because she every single time they were doing like a Hail Mary at the start or whatever, she would just stare me down because I wouldn't fucking bless myself and all that. So she
Bless up,
had 5 years of like waiting to get me for something,
Aye.
and he took me up to her, and she screamed at me in front of like a full 6-year free period class. So everyone in my year absolutely screamed at me. And then I think I went like that. I was like, Jesus Christ. And she went, don't use the Lord's name in vain. And I was like, I'm not Catholic. And it was just like,
oh, mate.
pandemonium. Just like, and she got that angry that she was like shaking and all that. And I was just sitting there like, yous are all crackpots. Yous are actually, this is all because I didn't do something that I'm not meant to do.
Because Jesus isn't real.
He isn't. I think that's the sort of stuff that I fully lost it. Like I said a few things like that to her.
See, when you actually tell somebody who's like overly like super fucking religious and you go, I bet, see if you try and kind of go more scientific with it, they just don't know how to comprehend it anymore, and they just end up going, aye, but like, you know what I mean? And you're like, no, mate, you're completely wrong.
Aye, but it's always been like that. And it's like, it's always been wrong.
Aye, mate, like Jesus was maybe a magician back in the day, mate.
And slavery happened.
Aye, mate. Well, did it really? No.
Well, I don't think the science is.
The science isn't that accurate. We had this teacher in, garage.
The garage.
Like the garage up here.
The club.
Aye.
Right.
So, see, the whole time we were at high school, this teacher made this huge deal about how she was getting married and all that, right?
In the garage.
Not in the garage, that'd be mental, mate. The worst wedding ever. But she made this whole thing about like, always, every fucking thing, like, oh, the date's soon, I'm getting married. Right, they got married and we'd obviously left school for like maybe a year. And then who did we fucking come across in garage? Her. And she's literally just got divorced.
No way.
And one of my mates is just trying to ride her the whole night. Just because that whole fact of the marriage got fucked. And she turned around to him at one point and went, see if you were my ex-student, I definitely would. And all that, and be like, mate, this is so fucking fried.
How old would she have been, the teacher?
I don't know, mate, what, 40 odds?
Oh, that old? I thought you were talking like 20s or something.
He's just fucking turned 19.
Oh my God. I do look at teachers and I just want to go, why would you choose this? Especially like you're looking at like our school was nuts. It was nuts. It's like a Catholic school in Hamilton. Like it's wild. Why would you choose to do
for
that?
the holidays, innit?
I don't think they're that good. It's like,
mate, you would get fucking like what, 12 weeks off?
I know, but when you're working, those you don't do 9 till 3. You're in it like 7:30, and then you have to mark homework and all that. It's like 10, 12-hour days.
Aye, but the holidays.
And then at the weekends, you probably still do a bit of work on the Sunday, prep and all that.
Well, if you're a PE teacher.
Man, you're just a permanent wank.
Aye, basically, mate. But
I actually still get triggered thinking about him.
Mate, we should find him and kick his cunt in.
See, honestly, see if someone could film what Fishy done to him, that would be like the most viral clip ever.
Aye.
It was just time. It was when he went up in the handstand.
That's funny as fuck, mate.
So good. I wish I could remember like all of the stories.
I did a full episode about it, see, with my co-host Adam.
Mm-hmm.
We did like, that was our first episode.
Right.
It was just called School Days.
Oh, you went to school with him, didn't you?
Aye, so that's how.
What was it? What's like your best school story or your wildest school story? People used to get fingered underneath the stairs and all that.
Yeah, but for the teachers, were pretty frisky in a Catholic thing, I assumed. You know what I mean?
I'll give you three pedo jokes. You've probably
Three
used 2.
paedophile jokes?
Well, you've probably
How
used
many have
about
I
8.
done? How many have I done today? I've only done what?
Right, the wildest thing.
I don't know, mate. Try to think. We used to have these guys, and they were like, honestly, mate, they were like 6'8", like 3 of them. And they were called Dylan, Deke, and Dave, and I'm not making that up. I was literally, and I was like the triple D, mate. That's what me and Adam always talk about. And see, anytime they would fight, like I'm 5'7", and obviously everybody around me is of normal height. And there used to be this guy called Declan Morris. Now you're talking about the fucking nicknames. Because he was so ugly, we used to call him Shrekland Morris. Obviously, at the point, I was like, I went, fuck it, I'm going to do, because I just assumed I was going to go down the apprenticeship route from school, so you get to do like motor mechanics. And obviously, you're in with the most retarded people ever. And of course, Shrekland Morris was in, and so was this guy, David, from that Triple D. Both of them are 6'8", right? He shouts out at him, he goes, you just pass me that spanner. And that Shrekland Morris goes, I'm not fucking passing you anything. And mate, the lecturer who was in for it was smaller than me. And before we know it, man, you've got these two 6'8" giants, and you've got this fucking 5'3" lecturer in the middle. People try to separate him. And see that David? He just grabs the lecturer, fucks him. I mean, like, it's like one of these superhero throws. And he just throws him, launches him into these fucking lockers. And you've just, mate, nobody's breaking up two 6'8" fucking, like, giants scrapping, mate. So you just have to leave them to obviously one of them knocks the other fucking out.
And one Shreckland.
Aye, well, obviously Shreckland, mate. He used to be, I'm not even kidding. You can't really see it in the camera, but see his legs, that was the height. The legs were his height. He had like a tiny torso and everything was his legs. But it didn't make it any better. Like, he was a mad, ugly, goth looking cunt. And he would wear, do you know you get Doc Martens, but they're like fucking up to your knees?
Aye.
His would go above the knees, and you'd think the cunt was just wearing them, and he'd wear them to school. And then David, obviously, mate, he would wear just Timbies all the time. And you've got just two freak show bastards, man, like colliding with a 5'3" lecturer. And that's probably one of the funniest things I've ever witnessed. And I'm obviously sitting there under a car just looking at this fucking this wildness in front of me. I can't even comprehend. And I'm like, this is the greatest day ever in school, mate. But
so good. See, when we used to have fights,
Aye.
if it didn't matter like who was fighting, if they were from one area of Hamilton or one other area of Hamilton, the full of those two areas were fighting. We used to have cunts come down with like baseball bats that were in their 30s to fight with 14-year-olds. Genuinely, there was like Whitehill and Fairhill, right? If those two fought, there was just going to be like 40 people from the scheme.
Aye.
In our school. They'd come into the school, or they'd wait to there was like a wee road that went up to like Aki Stadium. They would just wait there, and it would all hell would just break loose.
fuck me, man. We only had that at primary. Like,
Just the job centre was fucking out on show.
Like, we just had it at primary. Like, we were linked with another primary school.
Right.
So I was at Tollbray.
Transfer fee?
St Edwards, basically, mate. No, but I didn't go. Like, both of them were like, all that held us between was like, see the distance Paul is to us. Was it. And you just see cunts at the gates, like, during lunch, like, we're all scrapping here. Like, the second the bell goes, mate. And then it did, mate. The second, like, you got out. Before any like, your bus driver's waiting, he's like, I need to take you up the road. And we're like, nah. And every cunt would just go scrap.
It's mental, isn't it? See, when my very first day in Holy Cross, and it's so funny because I actually seen this boy for the first time since I've left school 2 days ago in Liddell and Bothwell. His name was Dazza, right? Dazza. We used to just call him Dazza mate. We just used to sing a song.
School's just ridiculous and shit like that.
It's because he used to call himself Dazza as well. So he'd be like, I'm Dazza. Do you know what I mean? So we just go, Dazza mate. And we were playing football, and he just dived. Like, I tackled him and he just dived. So I called him a diving bastard. And I had like 10 people that day threatening to stab me. And I came from Straven, right? So Straven was quite gimpy. Aye. And then moved to Hamilton. I was like, oh, I could get away with doing that in Straven. No one would say it. Not that I was hard, but like, no one, you just go, you're a diving bastard. No one would really say it. It wasn't a threat. It's just like, he dived. You know what I mean? People would just go, yeah, I dived. Whereas when I done that to him, I had 10 people. And then there was one guy called Connor Hislop, and he was renowned for like he used to genuinely just get in scraps. You'd hear about mad stories about him scrapping with people outside clubs and all that. Aye. And he came up to me, he's like, listen, mate, it's your first rodeo, just don't do it again. And he was like, right, and I was like, everyone was like, what's happened? Dazza stabbing. He's like, no, I guess he sorted it out. I'm fine.
See that same guy, David? There was this guy who used to say he wasn't gay at school. He is now gay. Right. His name's Damon Allen, right? And obviously, we all call him Gayman Allen. And there was this one point, we used to have these...
Such a trend, isn't there?
Oh, mate, it is. So, like, Gayman Allen and Shreckland Morris. Like, it was just fucking ridiculous. Even had, like, a guy called Chrissy Mills, and he brought Christopher Mills, his name was, and he brought a fish... like a lunchbox that had a fish on it, so he would get called Fishtifer Mills for like the entirety of school just for that. But see that guy David Allen, right, we used to have these big hills, and you would sit on it, you'd just lay your blazer in because it was muddy as fuck, right? That's one time he just goes, I'm gonna go grab Gavin Allen, right? And honestly,
you grab him like a fish?
No, like he grabbed his leg and dragged him down this muddy hill the entirety of the way just because he's gay. That was the only reason. And he dragged him all the way down just to go, just tell us you're all gay, mate. And he was like, obviously not ready to come out. And I've spoke to Gaming Alan since, and I met his husband and all that, and I was like, do you know Damon, mate, we used to all call you Gaming Alan? And he went, aye, he's funny about it because he's like, my husband calls me it now and that. I was like, that's amazing, mate.
That's
so
good. And that makes you not feel
mate.
bad because it's like low key bullying, but some of it wasn't bullying. Some of it was just literally like we none of us bullied Dazza.
Aye.
Because he'd stab you.
I think that myself. It's just because you're so young, mate, and you don't understand the meaning of what gay is. You call everything gay, don't you?
Well, see, in primary school, we literally had a corner of the playground called the gay corner, and we just used to push people in it. You just like, you just drag people to it and just go, you know what's happening here, and they go, no.
Is that not what they're doing?
Boom.
Is that not what they're doing for the World Cup in Qatar?
The gay corner.
They've got a gay corner, haven't they? And they just put them all in there. What do you think about all this? Like, genuinely?
I think, like, so this is going to come out after, but
Well, the
I
World
would
Cup
actually
probably be the final, don't it?
Yeah, see, even just it'll be quite good to talk about it and actually see what's happened. I think people are going to get arrested, and
He's getting arrested.
and I think there's mental cunts that get involved in Pride that will go over there and specifically like do
Well,
like
the
some
entire
sort.
like England team and all that. Like they came in like a gay pride plane. They're wearing the gay pride armbands like to show solidarity. What I know what the true solidarity would be. Every big name team and big name player boycotts the World Cup. That would be the biggest statement.
I know, but that won't happen. But
Because money, I know, but they should have. Should have been the main thing that they done.
I don't think it's fair to like put all the politics onto footballers.
Yeah.
And like that is do you see what Klopp was saying and stuff? He was like, just ask them questions about the football. Like it's not their fault that it's happening in Qatar. Like you need to be asking the people that fucking took the brown paper bags and put it there.
Aye, like
Do you know what I
who's
mean?
the head of FIFA? Like they literally.
What's the German guy?
Aye, like
Sepp
he
Blatter.
literally. Simon Broadcast, like the comedian, went up there with a shit ton of money to obviously put. Like, have you seen that video?
What one is it?
There's a comedian called Simon Broadcast, and he managed to get into the FIFA thing when they were doing the.
I
Qatar
think I
tour.
do remember
And
this.
he
Yeah.
went in and basically says, "All right, mate, here's the money
Yeah.
that we owe you," and he just threw all this money at him, and he's like, "Get out!" But that's factually what
I
happened.
do remember that.
I
Yeah.
also had a North Korea suit on. A suit with the North Korean flag.
That's so funny.
2026.
Oh.
In North Korea.
Aye. Mate, he is a fucking legend. That cunt,
That's
man.
mental though. That's like some boat. But
But they just pay them and go, "Oh, aye, that's what's next then."
I think Qatar's a whole new level of fucked. Like and you can see that they're all getting scared of like losing all the deals. Like I actually don't dislike Gary Neville for going to do what, you know, he took that job as like broadcasting for one of the Qatarian places.
After going against it for so
Yeah,
long.
but it's like if he keeps doing that, he will lose all his work. Do you know what I mean? If he kept on like the way he was going with the politics stuff, that's why he should probably stay out of it.
But morals should play a bigger place in that because he's setting an example for
I know,
so
but
many.
it's not like
It's not as
it's
if
not
he's
like-
got enough money.
it's not all on Gary Neville though, and it's not all on these specific people. It's all kind of fucked, and you need to join, like you said, like a boycott of it, or like even like say if 2 teams didn't do it, that would be enough. See like a team that wasn't that's been to plenty of World Cups, no, they're not going to win it. See if they just went, we're not going. That would do a difference.
But that's what I'm saying. England, because there's the most eyes are on England.
And they're
If they-
shite, and they're not going to win.
That's
So
what I'm saying.
just
If
fuck
they
it.
went, we're boycotting it. It would. If they would go, right, we're all doing it. Genuinely, it would take. That's the big statement. that
Go
would
and be
need to
like,
happen.
we'll take your place.
That's got to be like, so mate, we hate gays and all, man, we're doing it. We'll do it in an instant. We all just turn up with like SS uniforms and all that. Like, fuck it, man, I know, mate. I'd be the manager too. I would pay Qatar, pay me, mate. I would go and be the manager of the SS team in the World Cup.
Fuck me.
I would, mate.
They had to bring
See
them-
everything I said there, Qatar? I'm only kidding. I'll take money. I'll be with Gary Neville, man, just chilling.
I think he's had people in his ear saying stuff as well though.
Right, Jamie Carragher.
No, like
You can't stand anyway.
people in Sky and stuff. I reckon he's had people in
get
his
the
ear.
finger out. This
Stop
is where
it.
bread's buttered. Aye.
We're making a shit ton of money. You're making a shit ton of money. You'll lose all your work. Maybe don't.
But
go
with a
down
guy
that.
that's that rich already, I don't understand it. I know you can never be too rich in eyes, but
But when you're that rich, you're not. Like he's not chasing money. He's just still chasing like status, like
Aye,
fucking.
fame.
Yeah,
Aye.
that's what he's chasing, and I think that's just a human thing, isn't it?
aye.
Because you
But we
see,
wouldn't be doing this.
exactly, we're just shite at it.
Aye, mate. Well, mate, Amber just come out and start doing Andrew Tate stuff. We were discussing this.
Right.
So we were talking
Well,
about...
let's
No, but
hear
we're
this.
talking about, like, the way to get fame nowadays in Rapid is you say something so controversial that everybody shares it. Because my whole thing with Andrew Tate is, we made him. Everybody, so, like...
You made him?
Well, specifically me, I went, man, just hate women, let's do it. No, but, like...
I got in a lab.
The public made him because he'd been about for 10 years, didn't he? And then basically one thing blew him up. And it was us, because we talk about him, everywhere talks about him.
Yeah.
Even my ma, who is fucking 80-year-old, knew who he was, mate. And
She's
she doesn't even know. See, when I got at her, oh, like, I was gigging me Mark Nelson, or like Larry Dean was in this studio the other day. Like, these are Scotland's fucking, or Susie McCabe, like, these are like Scotland's most famous comedians who are all over the TV and everything. And she watches general TV and she didn't have a fucking clue, but she knew who Andrew Tate was.
She's in Hustlers University.
She is, mate. She actually found her. Weird when she came up to me and she was like, where's your Bugatti? And I was like, fuck, man. Jeez. Sorry, man.
Well, did you see what he was like on Piers Morgan? Like, he is playing an act. Like, if you actually, there's Andrew Tate that gets viral, and then there's Andrew Tate who actually seems all right. I know people hate that, but see, if you listen to him speak for an hour and a half, he is no lesser racist views than my family.
That's still not a good
He's
one.
no, but like people over 60 in Scotland, he's less racist than them. He's not. He's actually
But
not.
can't be racist. He's black.
He's actually not racist. I just chose a random word
I know
like
what you
sexist, racist,
Yes.
transphobic.
They're
do you
all
know
the
what I mean?
same, basically. You know what I mean?
But he's not actually like that. He's just, and it all gets clipped up. He's not. I just think he's.
Well, see, the main thing was like the best thing for Andrew Tate to do was going to Piers Morgan, a man who makes MD look great.
He done a very good job of that, by the way. Because I forgot that it was about Andrew Tate. I was just like, I just hate Piers Morgan.
Because that's what I'm saying. It's a deflection thing. So Andrew Tate's also that clever. He knows if I go on Piers Morgan's going to ask me something so retarded that everybody's going to focus on how stupid he is rather than me.
Yeah, you can just school him.
So,
easily.
like, see the whole
he
point-
knows that he can debate him and like win and come
I
across.
could go debate Piers Morgan
Exactly.
the one.
He's so bad.
He did the thing where he goes, what do you think about people saying you're to blame for like a child killing himself? And he went, that is nothing, quite literally nothing to do with me.
He's like, what? And do you think you're supporting the how little rights women have in Saudi Arabia? He's like, I don't live in Saudi Arabia.
I'm for Romania, mate. That's what I say. And
Yeah.
also the women are just the same.
What do you mean?
I think they're probably the same.
In Saudi Arabia and Romania?
Aye, are they not?
What, as in oppressed?
Aye.
I
Or
have
could they do more?
no fucking idea.
No.
Because I know nothing.
I know
about anything.
Iran's bad, isn't it? Is it Iran?
I think so, yeah.
Aye.
Middle East in general, like Abu Dhabi, like Dubai,
These poor bitches, man.
you know. Me and you should help them.
We should go to Iran and just join in.
Join
We're
in
doing
what?
anything else, mate, have we?
I've got fuck all else to do.
Aye.
I'll save women.
No, I mean, and we just join everybody
Oh.
who's oppressing women.
All right, I was on another page.
All right, aye.
I
Well.
was going to help the women.
No, fuck that, mate. You know what I mean?
Fucking hell. Right, so do you think I should do stand up? Would you
100%.
support me?
No. Never.
No?
No. See, you saying you do it, mate, I'm just going to slate you. There you go, Gavin's my competition now, you know what I mean?
Can I send you some of my jokes?
Aye, obviously, mate. No, fuck, man, I won't.
See if I was doing it in Australia, how I would come at it is a lot of the experiences I had in Australia.
Aye.
Because I
You ready to do that?
lived there for 2 years, so I can't just say random shit that I would find funny here, but I'll come at it from a like slagging them from a Scottish person
Yeah.
living in Australia.
Don't focus on, do not label yourself as, I am Scottish.
Transphobic.
Well, I do that all the time, so that's acceptable because it's factually accurate. No, but don't, like, it kills comedy.
Yeah, no, this is what I would
It's
do.
like,
This is the
I'm
kind of
Scottish,
stuff.
I'm the black comedian, I'm the gay comedian, I'm this. No, just be funny.
Yeah.
Just be the funny comedian. Put parts of you maybe being Scottish. Don't literally make your first line going,
I'm
I am
Scottish.
Scottish and this is what. No.
I mean, they just need to speak, don't they?
I mate, they're
And then
going
they go,
to
oh, you're
know.
from Dublin.
This guy's Irish. Right, we got it. What's your clan? The Ku Klux. No. I'm choking to do that. See, when somebody asks me that for like America, if they ever say that to me, they go, what's your clan? I go, the Ku Klux. And then like, just see the reaction. Do you know what I mean? See, to be fair, I'd probably win them over instantly with that. They'd be like,
definitely.
us too, mate. Like, let's go.
Here's
man.
an AK-47.
I mean, that story's wild, man.
What, oh,
mate.
so many American people got oppressed, but oppressed.
I think they're oppressed, America, are they?
Depressed.
Oppressed, 100%.
No, so many of them were getting fucking raging about that.
Aye, mate.
About basically, and I think Pierce did make most of that story up, but that's why it was funny.
Aye. Do you
It's
actually know
completely made up.
the right to bear arms is so you can overthrow the government? That's the only reason. Whereas America has now took it to the extent of I can shoot somebody that come in my yard. That's literally what it is.
All I can think is I can't take that yard word seriously. All I think about is my milkshake brings on all the boys to the yard.
Mate, Billy Kirkwood has the worst joke ever about that.
Right,
Right?
go.
The joke is he goes, I just came out to my yard one day and there was just all these boys in it and I was making milkshakes.
That's good, aye.
That's
I know,
so bad.
I know, that's what I
It's such a shit joke, but it's also silly. And Billy Kirkwood, when he does it, it's funny.
Is it?
No, he says it's his worst joke.
Oh,
but
definitely.
See the way he done it on the podcast? I thought it was funny. Just because of how I know Billy and how fucking stupid the joke is.
Yeah, but I will send you. I'll send you like maybe voice memos or something on my stand up.
To make me go to sleep tonight.
I'll do. Aye, so do you reckon have like 2 or 3 jokes about like experience in Australia?
See, you've got 5 minutes, mate. So 5 minutes is
It's like 5 jokes.
no. So the best example what I have seen is so when you go to Frog and Bucket, it's basically you have 5 minutes to impress the crowd, and if you get 3 cards, you get fucked off the stage. So see the way to win a 5 minute thing is one liner, one liner, one liner.
Right,
So you
okay.
can't. So a comedian there tried to do a story-esque thing, and I says you can only build a story if you have the time to build the story, and you need to layer jokes in between it.
Right, okay.
But she had 5 minutes.
Right.
And in 5 minutes, you cannot layer all that, and you can't do callbacks
Yeah.
to that story. So you need to be quick, sharp, and you're trying to win this crowd over as quick as possible so you don't get a fucking hang.
Like see
You
the
need to do
French.
that as well when you go there.
See the French. Oh, mate, it's my first time talking. Be like, you need to do this, and this. And I'll be like,
No, but it's going to help
Hiya.
you. It's going to help you.
I'm trying to be funny here.
And see the second you get the first laugh, you ease and you're comfortable and the crowd's comfortable. So
Yeah,
that's
fair.
So you need to get it as quick as possible.
At the Fringe, so I went to like a Australian comedy thing in the Fringe. There was like 4 Australians, and there was a black guy that came out, and mate, he was so funny. He just like, I can't remember what the noise he made, but he just came out and went, whoa, and you're like, come on guys, I speak English. Because everyone was just like looking about, he's like, come on.
That's brilliant to be fair.
But he's just
Also,
like, he had his
100
eyes like this. Just
I'd
rolled over you.
100% just assumed he spoke with that.
So funny.
Racism, shocking.
It's so good. I wish I was black, I could do stuff like that.
You are black, mate. From within. Can you come out as transracial? Is that a thing?
I just broke my brain.
Michael
What?
Jackson's transracial?
No.
How's he not transracial? He was
You've
black, now
had
he's
too
white.
much Monster, mate.
How is that not correct?
I'll take that away from you.
Sorry, mate, no, don't.
Right, I think we better go anyway, because I just, when you start talking about trans, like, and you go into something, that was like when you done that Caroline Flack joke, you're just, I think we pushed the boundaries today a lot. You did anyway.
The day? I
Oh,
thought it
for me?
was pretty good, did they?
For me. Anyway, have you got any comedy gigs coming up?
No, but I do have a very important message that I want to put out. So we are going to be doing a live stream for charity because I know how hard it's going to be for everybody this Christmas. So we're basically doing a
I
live
can't
show.
take it
No,
to be
we
serious.
genuinely are doing it. And I put out a poll the other day to say if they wanted it to be 30 or 40 capacity, the 40 capacity one. So I'm looking at a venue now, and it'll be obviously mid-December, and all proceeds go to charity.
Did you get him back?
But
The Polish guy?
no, I didn't think of the Polish guy. Fuck no, mate. Fuck him. He's in the gay corner. But aye, that's what I'd like to say. If like obviously people want to come, it's going to be obviously a £5 a ticket, and then everything goes because this.
Have you got
Christmas-
links and all that? I'll put it in the description.
I will have links when this episode comes out.
Okay.
It's in a few weeks on it.
Yeah.
I'll send you an email.
Give me links.
Aye.
Pleasure for having me. Well, I'm too tired.
It's a pleasure for having you, mate.
Thank you. I'll come again. See you later.
I'm always in one.